Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to open the third Israeli meeting for autism research. My name is Ilan Dinstein, and I'm the director of the National Autism Research Center of Israel. I'm happy to tell you that over 400 participants have registered for the conference this year, and we have a wonderful lineup of lectures and discussions that will be held here over the next 2 days. Now, except for the Israeli researchers, which are, of course, the focus of our meeting, we will also be hosting two wonderful international guests. Later today, we will hear from Professor Simon Baron-Cohen, who is the director of the Autism Research Center at Cambridge University. He will be telling us about sex differences in autism. And tomorrow, we are very fortunate to have Professor Ami Klin, who is the director of the Marcus Autism Research Center, and from Emory University in Georgia, USA, and he will tell us about his amazing research regarding early identification and eye tracking. So please join us for all of this, and I promise you'll have a great time. Except for that, I wanted to share some very exciting news with you. We've recently been notified by the Azrieli Foundation that the Azrieli Foundation will be allocating some substantial funding for the Autism Research Center in Israel over the next 6 years. This funding is going to enable us to expand much of the work that we've been carrying out at the center. Many of you are familiar with the National Autism Database that we've been working hard on, which currently contains data from over 1,200 children with autism and their families. We've been mostly doing this work in the Negev together with partners in the healthcare community, and I want to take a moment and acknowledge our wonderful partners at Soroka Medical Center, Dr. Analia Mikhailovsky and Dr. Hagit Flusser, the current and the former director of the Child Development Center, and of course, Dr. Gal Meiri, the head of the preschool psychiatry unit, who is also the medical director at the Autism Center. I want to mention Dr. Yair Tzadaka, who is the head of the Health Ministry Child Development Center in Be'er Sheva, and Dr. Cheni Steierman, who is the director of the Maccabi Health Services Child Development Center. And as you can see, all of us here in Be'er Sheva, we've created a real community that combines research with the clinic. And this is really the great emphasis of the center, and I think the great power that we have in Israel in bringing together these two entities that actually don't meet often enough throughout the world. And so now with the help of the Azrieli funding, we're going to take this nationally. We are already doing this for the past 2 years in a wonderful partnership with Professor Ditza Tzachor at the Alut Autism Center and Asaf HaRofeh Medical Center. And we want to expand this to other locations and additional centers throughout Israel. Now, another major component here is about collaboration and enabling the community, all researchers in Israel, to use this data and to use this infrastructure. And I like to say that we are here to serve. And so the success of the center is actually the success of the researchers and the scientists in Israel who do work about autism. And so you'll be hearing a lot from us over the next year or two as we develop these plans and implement them. This is all going to be carried out in collaboration with you, in partnership with you, and this has to serve you. So we are going to figure out together how to find the best solutions. And with that, I'd like to also thank the committee members who helped organize this year's conference. You'll soon meet Shlomo Wagner and Sagiv Shifman, who organized the session today about sex differences. Tomorrow you'll get to meet Lydia Gabis and Judah Kohler, who organized tomorrow's session. And together with Ditza Tzachor, Ofer Golan, Corey Schulman, and Evan Elliott, we together decided about the two amazing topics that you'll get to hear about over the next 2 days. And I'll just end with a huge thanks to Mazal Malka, our administrative manager, who together with the team, Michal, Laila, Sarit, Daniel, the other Michal, Tanya and Adi are doing amazing work and making all of this happen. So what we're going to do now is hear a couple of greetings from some very important people and partners in this national autism effort, and then we'll move into the lectures. Thank you very much for being here, and I wish us all a successful and enlightening conference.
Shalom. Over a half century ago, David Ben-Gurion said that the future will emerge from the Negev. Over the past couple of years, we have now seen a new development, that it's the future of autism research, which is emerging from the Negev. A year ago, when we met physically in Beersheba, was the last conference that I had the pleasure of opening, where I could look into people's eyes and see the excitement in the room. And I'm hopeful that at the next meeting, we'll be able to do that also. From its modest beginnings several years ago, the National Autism Research Center of Israel at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev has developed so much that it influences not only Israel, but the entire world. And that's why I'm so happy to announce that the Azrieli Foundation has chosen us for a significant grant to continue our important mission. Why us? Why the researchers at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev and the Soroka University Medical Center? Why were we chosen? The answer is because we have the power of coffee. Yes, coffee. It is only at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev, together with our colleagues at Soroka University Medical Center, where a psychologist and a psychiatrist and a geneticist and a biochemist and a data scientist can come together, drink coffee, and discuss wonderful ideas that can change the world. It is this power, the power of people working together through daily interaction, which is pushing forth the research at the National Autism Research Center of Israel and many other centers here in the Negev. I'm so excited about what's going to be coming out of this center, more of what's going to be coming out of the center. I'm so thankful to the leadership and to our partners here in Beersheba at Soroka. And I thank you for taking part in this conference and look forward to the wonderful things we'll be talking about not only this year, but next year and the years after. I wish us all a wonderful conference. Thank you very much.
Soroka Medical Center is uniquely situated to lead autism research in Israel. As the only tertiary medical center in southern Israel, we care for over 1 million people, 400,000 of whom are children. Not surprisingly, as the average age in the Negev is 28. We take this responsibility for the health of the Negev very seriously, but we do not stop there, and our researcher clinicians continuously strive for excellence in research as well as clinical data. We have several strategic strengths that make autism research in the Negev the force that it is. We are part of Clalit Healthcare System, which is the insurer of over 70% of the children in the Negev. That means we have a continuum of care and data across community and hospital for most of the children in the Negev who receive excellent clinical care for autism as well as for other diseases. Our world-class genetic institute, our leading clinical research center all add greatly to our research capabilities in autism and in other clinical areas. But it is once we bridge the aptly named Ben-Gurion Boulevard that separates Ben-Gurion from Soroka that we begin to realize the tremendous strengths of both organizations and the synergy that true collaboration can bring. Not only does this collaboration enhance our holistic understanding of autism, it also improves healthcare for the children of the Negev. And not only the Negev, we affect the country and we can affect care worldwide with discoveries that can only be made here. We are very thankful for the support of the Azrieli Foundation that will allow us at Soroka and at BGU to continue advancing the frontiers in autism care and research and lead to these developments. Professor Dinstein and Dr. Meiri, I salute your amazing leadership and your ability to build such a strong alliance. I have no doubt that beyond autism, this will become the model for many other groups at Soroka and at BGU. My gratitude to the outstanding speakers who have joined us today and for the great attendance. I wish us all a great e-meeting, and I desperately look forward for meeting you in person in the near future. Professor Chaimovich, L'chaim.
Hi everyone, and thank you for being here today with us. I would like first to open and thank the president of Ben-Gurion University, Professor Daniel Chaimovich, the manager of Soroka Hospital, Dr. Shlomi Kodesh, and Professor Ilan Dinstein and his team from the National Autism Research Center of Israel. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to greet you all in this very important conference. 3 years ago, when the Ministry of Science and Technology decided to establish a knowledge center around autism, we were hoping that the center will be exactly what it is today, and this is very exciting for us. This center is not only important because of its very critical area of research and beyond the importance of researching autism. What is great about the center is that it became really national center, gathering researchers from around the country, from different universities and hospitals, building this great knowledge base and database that will hopefully help the research of autism in the future of Israel, but also for the global research around the world. I'm also excited today to learn about this very important donation that the center just received. I would like to thank Azrieli Fund for its very generous donation. This donation will help the center continue its important work in the future, and it's invaluable for the future of autism and autism research here in Israel and Ben-Gurion University. I'm also sorry that we are not meeting in person this year due to the COVID-19 restrictions, but I'm happy that we are doing the conference anyway, even if it's virtually in Zoom, and I really hope that next year we will meet together physically and can have a regular conference as we should on this important subject. So I would like to thank you all for being here today, for your hard work, for your donations, for your contribution, and hopefully this will help all of us have a better future for us and for our children. Thank you and have a great day.
My fellow friends, researchers, therapists, government regulators, families, and all those for whom the research of autism is close to their heart. On behalf of the Ministry of Health, I'm excited to welcome you today. From our perspective, the Israeli Center for Autism Research at Ben-Gurion University and the early conference that they host are proof that we are progressing in our understanding and knowledge about autism. Every year, this conference has a different focus, and this year's focus is on gender and the diagnosis and treatment at the early ages. I believe that with the joint efforts of the Ministry of Health, the universities, the research centers of hospitals, the Israeli Center of Autism, and colleagues from all around the world, we will advance the area of autism in the next year, yet another step despite the corona, despite bureaucratic and budgetary limitations. An autistic teenager wrote a touching song, "The other place where I stand, alone as an island in the heart of the sea, the other place where I discover that I am not like others." This conference is about reaching out to all those people on the spectrum so they may feel less lonely. I'm looking forward to an exciting and informative 2 days.